Not many people know what went down behind the scenes of the Dirty Dozen. Sinners, it's Judgment Day. Come on out wherever you are. The Dirty Dozen, which was released in 1967, was more daring, brasher, and bloody than any World War II picture before it. You've probably watched it a dozen times since, but these little-known facts will offer you a whole new perspective on all that mud. Are you interested in learning more about this film? Lee Marvin hated the movie. Just a dummy moneymaker. One of the Dirty Dozen's harshest critiques, however, did not come from the press. The line was said by the movie's starring guy. Yeah, Lee Marvin loved the Dirty Dozen, but he thought the narrative had nothing to do with combat reality. The legendary actor who portrayed him, Major John Reisman, was more happy with his later war film, The Big Red One. Clint Walker refused to play one of the most famous scenes. Remember when Donald Sutherland portrayed the Troop Inspection General, Vernon L. Pinkley? Of course you do. It's one of the most memorable sequences in the film. But did you know that the imposter was supposed to be Clint Walker's son, Samson Posey? After Walker declared he couldn't perform the job, director Robert Aldrich hired Sutherland at the last minute. Jim Brown retired because of it. Jim Brown was still under contract with the Cleveland Browns when he took the role of Robert T. Jefferson. Brown's return to training was jeopardized by the production of The Dirty Dozen. Permanently leaving NFL. The NFL threatened him with a suspension as well as a large financial punishment. Brown, who was irritated by the ridiculous demand, announced to the mainstream media that he would be quitting from sports forever. Charles Bronson's father was an actual miner. Art mimicked life in at least one of the Dirty Dozen backstories. Charles Bronson's character, Joseph, explains that his father used to work in mines in Poland. Experienced miner. The actor's genuine father did the same thing as an actor in his home in Lithuania. Growing up in Pennsylvania, Bronson was exposed to the coal mining business firsthand. The fake chateau was well built. The Dirty Dozen's faux chateau was supposed to be bulldozed. The structure's builders, on the other hand, had done such an excellent job that blowing it apart would have taken over 70 tons of dynamite. Quick fixing. As a result, in order to save time, quick-thinking designers were compelled to recreate a piece of the structure for the scenario in question using significantly flimsier materials such as plastic and cork. Boom. A ventriloquist? Franco, portrayed by John Cassavetes, is either a fantastic ventriloquist or the sound editing team made a mistake during one scene. In the film, when Vladislav is beaten, the ex-criminal says mockingly, "3 wise men, trust the major." The words he says, however, don't correlate to the shapes he produces with his lips. Strange. Sean Connery almost punched Lee Marvin. Marvin took advantage of the free drinks at a London party during his leisure. He also muttered something disrespectful to Sean Connery's aunt, an elderly lady. "Don't hit him in the face." "Don't hit him in the face, Sean," producer Kenneth Hyman begged as Connery neared Marvin. "He'll be getting his close-ups the next day." As a consequence of this appeal, the crisis came to a stop, and Marvin's face was spared. A secret code. Congratulations if you detected this smart sound trick. The quick ringing of the castle doorbell 3 times by Bronson and Marvin is crucial. The opening 4 notes are from the classic Fifth Symphony by acclaimed German composer Ludwig van Beethoven, which was extensively adopted as an anthem by the Allies during World War II. The doorbell's da-da-da-da pattern in Morse code also represents the letter V for victory. Bronson threatened Marvin for his drinking. Marvin seemed to generate quite a bit of mayhem throughout filming. After failing to show up for a certain job, co-star Bronson spotted the acting legend at a London club. Taking inspiration from a friend. Marvin took inspiration for his depiction of Major John Reisman from a number of sources, including his own World War II experiences. One of his real-life closest friends also had an impact on him. The actor modeled his role on John Miara, a native of Massachusetts with whom he had served in the Marine Corps. Why Frank Sinatra and Trini Lopez quit? Trini Lopez was a popular crooner at the time. Because production for The Dirty Dozen was delayed, some believed that his lengthy absence from the studio would be detrimental to his musical career. According to legend, Frank Sinatra persuaded Lopez to ditch the Jimenez role and return to his usual employment. No pay raise. Another story circulating around the singer's leaving is that his management business was unable to get a salary boost for him prior to his departure. However, rather than becoming the hero who rescued the world, Lopez's character was cruelly murdered off. Muhammad Ali showed up. The squad was graced with the presence of boxing great while shooting The Dirty Dozen. Brown's pal, Muhammad Ali, was there at the time due to his fight with Brian London. During a break in training, the athletic icon paid a visit to the site and posed for pictures with the group. The cast was deemed too old. Hollywood is notorious for hiring actors who are way too old for their parts in high school movies. The Dirty Dozen, on the other hand, established that age isn't a barrier to earning a major role in a combat film. Life starts at 40. Marvin, Bronson, and the majority of their fellow service members were in their 40s when they were cast in parts that required them to appear substantially younger than their true age. Aldrich prioritized the film's message. If Aldrich had followed certain advice about a particular scene, he may have garnered an Oscar nomination for Best Director. It was suggested to the director that eliminating the problematic sequence in which Brown tosses hand grenades into the German bunker would significantly increase his chances of winning an award. Aldrich, on the other hand, opted to reject this request in order to ensure that his message of war is hell was clearly understood. The film was a bit different from its source. The Dirty Dozen is based on E.M. Nathanson's novel of the same name, which was released just 2 years before production started. The film's core goal, however, is barely stated in the source material. You'll have to wait until the very end of the book to discover anything about it.